Hello, everybody, and we're back. The crew is back for another LTB post game, the Mile High After Party.
Let's go.
Nice new fancy branding all put together. The branding even works on the vertical stream. If you're watching us over there, wherever you are watching us, please leave a like, comment. Repost if you're on Twitter. Anything helps the show, helps me, helps David, helps Mike out a whole lot. We're all very, very grateful for your support, however you want to show it. Fellas, as always, I'm going to go to you to open this thing up. And David, because you're right next to me, I'll just go right to you. What is your immediate takeaway? What is your instant reaction as we come away from the Broncos 24-17 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders?
Zach, maybe I have the orange colored glasses on. I know the score is a one possession game, and I know that. Hey, we didn't cover. That's all right. But I felt like this was a dominant victory from our Denver Broncos, and we won in a way in which it was incredibly satisfying. The time of possession. That's what I care about in this game. 39 minutes and 3 seconds to 20 minutes and 57 seconds. Did we have three drives of over 8 minutes? We methodically destroyed the Raiders. So that is my takeaway. Methodically destroyed them.
Yep. And up until that last drive where they weren't really going for points, they had multiple opportunities to kick the field goal. They decided they wanted to run clock instead. I think analytics would support that decision. But as a result, they come away with, or prior to that drive, I'll exclude it for the sake of easy math on my part, 3.6 points per drive. Top of the league right now is 2.99. So, the score isn't super high because the pace of play was so slow and there were so few possessions in this game. But, the Broncos performed, from a scoring perspective, like a hyper elite offense. Even like anything over 3 points per drive is pretty ridiculous. Mike, where are you at as we come away from this one?
All right. First of all, I'm so psyched that I got to relax and watch a football game. I've been asking for this for a few weeks. Me and Mikey were just hanging out, having a little soother, kicking back, watching the Broncos. I want to say something to David. Is it David Youngkin?
Yeah.
All right, David, this is for you. He says no disrespect, but that was not a dominant win. You know what? Here's my retort. 14 plays, 81 yards, 8 minutes, 54 seconds time of possession. 14 plays, 91 yards, 9 minutes, 13 seconds time of possession, TD, both of those. 18 plays, 90 yards, 10 minutes, 17 seconds time of possession, field goal. Boom, ball game. So the defense, yeah, I complained a lot about the defense. Guys, you follow me on Twitter. I know you do. You saw me be a fan. I tend to do that. But that was still a dominant performance, Zach. The Broncos played running football. They ran the ball. We're going to talk about RJ. We're going to talk about the run game. We're going to talk about the game plan. I know all that. But I said this game is going to be on with Column. I said 27-14, and just a stupid penalty by Brandon Jones, I think, screwed that up for me. But it played out kind of the way I thought. I still think I don't think it was as close as it looked. I thought we after that first drive, the Raiders didn't put anything together.
They didn't really. It was that first drive, and after that first drive, I was feeling a little worried about this defense.
I was too.
But after that, it was all Broncos really the rest of the way. I think the Raiders put a lot of lipstick on the pig to make it look better. This was a 24-7 game in spirit and how it felt. There's an analytic account out there. There's so many, I'm going to mess up the name. But every week they put out like what were the most dominant performances of the week based on success rate, which success rate did you have a good play or not, right? And they look at the two team success rates, and it's typically a solid representation, not of who won the game, but like how one-sided a game was. And to David Youngkin's comment, I bet that this week it's a giant bar in favor of the Denver Broncos. Like the offense just marched up and down the field. They threw the ball with ease. They ran the ball with ease. Like I want to spend a lot of time on the run game, and I think we'll do that here briefly, but just, man, I feel so great about the Broncos coming out of this one. And I know it ultimately ended up as a one possession win. So I won't say multiple possession or double digit, but what after, and Mike, I'll start with you this time, after seeing the Denver Broncos finally come away with a convincing win, a win where they didn't have to come from behind, maybe that's the right way to frame it. Do you feel at all differently about this team, or is it, hey, this is the Raiders, this is what you were supposed to do?
Oh, Zach, this is why you're here. That's a great question. I'm going to say I feel better. I liked the game plan. You can only play who's in front of you. You can, beating the Raiders isn't for everybody, guys. Ask the Patriots. All right. You still got to win the games. So, this isn't a great measuring stick by any stretch, but I liked what I saw from RJ Harvey. I thought the guys on the other side of the line of scrimmage are still like hitting hard, and he was fighting for yards, no fumbles. He looks explosive. I thought he was pretty decisive the whole night. I think he averaged like 4.5 yards a carry. So I feel better. I feel better about certainly about what I saw from Bo Nix tonight. This is a string of like 3 good games from Bo Nix, warming up for the playoffs. That's what you want to see. You want to see him ramping up. We were worried early in the year about sophomore slumps and is he regressing and all that BS you saw. Hang on, guys. Bo is just getting warmed up. Stock up, baby. Let's go.
I'm with you. But David, actually, I want to get your response on this quick. Are you feeling at all differently about the team after this performance? Or like I said, is it just, hey, this is what I expected? I feel no differently about you.
I don't know. Now that it's like hit me, dude, 10 straight wins, dude, I feel like this team's invincible, to be honest. And Mike, you pointed it out. I just had the game logs opened because, these 3 games that Bo Nix has played against Kansas City, Washington, and now Las Vegas, again, it's not going to show it on maybe like the stat sheet in terms of like the touchdowns and stuff like that. But I think that he's played really, really, really good football from quarter 1 to 4. Just about as good as you could ask for. Again, that 1 interception to Bobby Wagner last week. But, man, this might have been his best, like, complete game of the season. 81
it was his best completion percentage of the season,
dude.
Yeah.
He was getting everything. His pocket movement was great. Rolling out. And you even had some players make some tough catches when it wasn't thrown perfectly. Shout out to Courtland Sutton. I think that was on a 3rd down.
By his knees.
Yeah. So it does give me confidence that, hey, we can come out and handle business. That's what we did. I don't care about what the score was. Past that like 2-minute mark, man. We dominated. We were just being good sports. The offense carried the load again, I feel like, in this game. So, Mike?
Man, this is, I guess the last point on this, Zach, for me would be this team has played up and down to its competition, and it was finally good to see. Yes, we were supposed to win this game. We should win this game by all rights. On the road, regardless, in the division. But this is a game that we should have clearly been the better team, and we didn't play with our food. We didn't have to hold our breath like Washington, that kind of stuff. So in that respect, hey, it's a good sign, right? Like good teams should beat bad teams, and we should beat them by a comfortable margin. And that's exactly what they did. They did exactly what their job was tonight.
Yeah, they delivered. And I am happy to see that. It was nice to have a stress-free viewing experience, it's good to see them take care of business and just, I don't know, shut a game down, dominate it. I do feel differently about this team because I do think there's something to be said for just beating up on lesser competition. And that's what this game felt like. Like it's not respected reflected, in the final score sheet. But I was very, very impressed with what we saw out of the Broncos today, particularly the offense. Man, I guess, yeah, let's start there. Let's start with the offense in general. And as part of the offense, I got to get into RJ Harvey, who I think had his breakout performance today. But before I get into that, I'll just share, man, the offense was sick. 3.6 points per possession. Like I said, I think that is very meaningful. Like that is, I don't know, not a low level performance or what that is. Absolutely shelling a lesser team like you would want to see. That is a Alabama versus Citadel, maybe not to that extreme, but that type of like
that's a great callback though.
Bug meets windshield. It's one of those type of. It lived up to its billing, and I am happy to see the Broncos finally do that. We know they can handle these close games. We know they consistently play up to their opponent. That's the more important thing to me. But making it so you're not risking stubbing your toe in these easier games is also going to be huge. Like once you get a game put away, it's good to see. And I also think it's the culmination of something the Broncos have been building towards all season. The reason so many of these games were close, and this was something Joey was really pounding on our Wednesday show, the reason these games were so close was the Broncos have a great defense and a low scoring offense. And you like pair those two things, you're going to have a lot of like close games, whether you're winning them or losing them. And the Broncos were coming out on the right end of things. In recent weeks, to what y'all have just been saying about Bo, the offense has started to turn a corner and get more points up on the board. And I think last week probably would have been that first blowout if Kingsbury or multiple possession win, comfortable win, however you want to frame it. If Kingsbury didn't have like the game plan of his life, just shredded Vance Joseph. Now I think we're going to see more of that. The defense we've seen for much of the season, that's a very high end defense going up against, oh, that's weird. Why did that come out that way? Whatever. I was just looking at the vertical graphic, going up against, this Raiders team. I'm really happy to see that, but let's get into the RJ Harvey of it all. Had his best game of his young career. Let me see if the stats are up yet. Does anyone have the
I do.
That's right in front of him. Read them off to us, Mike.
17 carries, 75 yards and a touchdown, averaged 4.4 yards a carry with a long of 15. Guys, I did a whole show on this. I sent it to you with the amazing response I got from it because it still freaks me out a little bit. But the whole premise of this show that I was doing was, do we need every down back? And RJ Harvey looked like an every down back tonight, guys, to me. Like, Zach, I'll let you do all the EPAs and all that stuff. But after watching football and studying football for 150 years like I have, he looked fine to me. He ran hard. Like he looked like a running back that was not afraid of contact. He ran through contact. He fell forward. The one that I thought looked really ugly ended up being a face mask. And then Jaleel, I hate to jump to Jaleel, 5.5 yards per carry on 4. So, I mean, limited sample size. And then add Prentice in there, who's a little unsung hero. I think we Broncos fans can feel better about this run game, even against a team that apparently has an aversion to tackling very well. The run game looked collected. And I think it was Tanner that called it out earlier. I just want to call out Tanner. Thank you for the comment. No cute calls tonight, guys. I hate when Sean gets cute. He could depend on the run tonight, and it worked out by virtue of that first statement I made about those 3 drives. You don't do that passing the ball. You do that by running the ball and running the clock. And this kind of game is winnable every week for the Broncos. God, I'm on a box tonight, guys. I'm on my high horse tonight.
As long as they keep getting offensive performances like that or rushing performances like that, the sky really is the limit for this Broncos attack. Bo, he's growing, and we've seen a lot over the last month. Like, I feel really great about what he's shown over the last month, but you do not want to head into the playoffs with your offense entirely resting on Bo Nix's shoulders. And against the Chiefs and against Washington, this offense was entirely on his shoulders, and he delivered. Like, I'm glad he did. I don't want to be in that situation come January. And RJ Harvey today, and to your point, it has to happen against better competition too. But today he looked like a different back. To me, it's not just, the Raiders are bad or whatever. Harvey, his contact balance that was so great in college, and I think even really good that first week against Tennessee, he's been going down with so many like arm tackles this season. And then today, out of nowhere, he was like the hardest guy to tackle.
He's a hard tackle.
For about 3/4 of the game, he felt like the best player on the Broncos offense, honestly. But David, where are you at with RJ Harvey? Are you feeling as hyped as the two of us here?
Yeah, I guess when you ask the question, do we feel different about this team? Yeah, I do, because I'm a lot less nervous, I guess, about the running back situation right now with how we've seen RJ Harvey carry the load in this game. 23 touches is what he had. So he had 75 yards on the ground. He also had 6 catches for 25 yards. So 100 yards from RJ Harvey today. And yeah, some of the crucial plays on third down, breaking tackles, staying upright. It felt like, for the most part, I mean, for a smaller guy, just always falling forward for a lot of these runs. And it wasn't just the outside stuff. He was finding the lanes, in between the tackles. And it was great to see this level of physicality from him. And also, shout out to Jaleel McLaughlin. He trucked some dude. I don't know if I can remember a time that he's done that. That was awesome. So to see both of those guys kind of running with a tenacity that embodies the spirit of J.K. Dobbins, even though he's not on the field, man, it's really great to see. And Bo Nix completing over 80% of his passes today, I don't think is a coincidence when you run the ball the way they did for over 150 yards. Like you said, 40 minutes of this game was with the ball in our possession.
And
that's insane.
That's domination.
Another element that helped that was the short passing game. Like, they had a lot of excellent screens, excellent throws out to the flat. And I think Bo can lean on that a little too much, but today that wasn't the case. It was really effective. It reminded me a lot. I think it might've been D-Bronx saying this on Twitter earlier, but it reminds me a lot of that Falcons game he had last year, where I don't think he was doing, and he had some good throws in this one. I'm not trying to take it all away from Bo. I thought it was a really good game from him, but he wasn't doing the most difficult stuff. He was taking what the defense gave him. They gave him a lot of easy answers. And that's why you get an 80% completion percentage. That's also why you get 8-minute drives. Yes, being able to lean on the run game's helpful there, but as long as it's a completed pass, that does the exact same thing to the clock. So man, if the Broncos can keep building on this, and it's sustained now, I think you can look at, the Cowboys game as a turning point for this offense. Right after that, yes, they play the Texans, but it's the Texans. And then you have the Raiders on a short week. That one's harder to excuse. And then you have the Chiefs game, of course, the Washington game, and then this one. It does feel to me like the offense has turned a bit of a corner. I think you get this version, where you are just marching up and down the field every single time it gets the ball. You get the ball, it feels like, if you can get this sustained rushing success. And Harvey's, the vision was better today. I thought the vision's mostly good, but sometimes he tries to bounce something he really shouldn't. Everyone's aware of that. That's one problem. And then I think the other is sometimes he'll slow himself up too much as he approaches the line, because he's like, what's the right answer? And sometimes it's better to the old coaching adage. I think it's if you're going to be wrong, or if you're going to make a mistake, make it fast. And it'd be better sometimes you just Javonte Williams that thing and charge right into the wrong hole. And today he found that balance a little better, where you had the urgency in his game that I think he's needed to add more of, and also the decisiveness, the proper vision where he was finding the right running lanes. But even beyond that, and I think this is what was also so exciting, Tyler Bidet had a great rushing performance.
Yes.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, Jaleel McLaughlin, who you highlighted, David, had a great rushing performance, 22 yards on 4 carries. But then Adam Prentice, I think he might actually be. I was kind of like, oh, this is not a real thing. Last week, I did not even consider the thought of like Adam Prentice being a J.K. Dobbins replacement for like these short yardage situations. And it was only 2 looks. We saw of it today, but he goes for 18 yards and 4 yards on 2 like and 1 situations. And granted, on one, the defense just was like hot napping and it was wide open. I think they might have something there where like Harvey running with more power was something too. But man, Prentice has me feeling a lot better about this run game just in general. Where you guys at with the health of this run game, Mike? I'll give it back to you here.
Man, again, I saw a stat earlier tonight. I don't have it in front of me, so don't take this, for exact. But like Prentice has like 9 carries now, I think, on the season, and all but one of those has gone for a first down. Like he's just some crazy stat like that. Like, and I didn't vet it, so I don't know for sure if that's a real thing. We can get into that. Somebody in the chat, we got a shout out to the chat, guys. You guys are on fire tonight. Thank you, everybody in the chat. But yeah, run game feels better. We got to talk about Bo. We got to talk about the defense a little bit too, Zach.
Really quick, yes. And before we get to that, I'll direct us to the Bo point here. But that stat you heard, it is correct. He has 7 carries this year. 6 of them go for first down. And I think we'll all remember the one that didn't. I believe it was the Jets game. You had that 3rd and 10 backed up, and they just ran like a draw. It was
that's right. We were so pissed off about it.
They weren't even trying to convert the first down on that play. So like when they're actually trying to move the sticks, he's 6 for 6. That's pretty dark. Maybe they have found something here. That's
I think
exciting.
They might have. David, you didn't have any business to take care of tonight?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. We'll cover that at the end, man.
All right. I just didn't want to I want to make sure you didn't forget.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
Y'all make sure I remember at the end.
I will. I will for sure.
Into one of our weekly segments here.
Yes.
The improvement meter. Wait, why is it not loading? There we go. Is it?
It was there for a second.
There we go. Let's go. Okay, my thing's just lagging. All right. What are I got in the vertical one's messed up. I'll fix that later. Whatever. We'll do it live. Thoughts
that's great.
On Bo Nix and Sean Payton, the improvement meter. David, I can tell you got some takes on this. How are you feeling about this coach quarterback tandem?
Dude, I love it, man. I don't feel like we made I don't really feel like we made really any dumb decisions. Well, actually, one. So Sean Payton is even. He's even where he's been at because, dude, low scoring game. Just punt the ball there at the end of the first half. Like that's we kind of got away with it, you know. Granted, I do think maybe I'm in the minority here. I did give Troy Franklin the first down there, man. Like it was a fine play call that was executed, but I guess a little bobble or whatever. Punt the ball there, dude. That's fine. But what I really loved is, Sean Payton didn't get greedy there at the end. We had a good 4th and manageable situation there at the end of the game. We ran it, and then the next time we got stopped, we had ran all the clock out to seal this game. Make sure you kick that field goal to make sure that it's a 3-possession game at that point. So the game plan, much better than what we saw against the Raiders a few weeks ago. Bo Nix, he was on it. He was a fantastic game manager today. And when Bo Nix is on it as a game manager, I feel like we pretty much win every game. So I really, really loved his performance today. He played within himself, within the offense. And like you said, he was getting a lot of easy answers to the test, and he was very okay with that. He didn't get greedy.
Yeah. When you get an easy test, like if you got an easy professor, just, get the A, get out of there. You don't have to do
Exactly.
triple backflips to like impress them or whatever. Just get out of Dodge with the easy grade. That's why you're taking the class. I like this comment from Tanner really quick. I'll just try and grab some comments saying feeding Courtland over Franklin made a difference. And the consistency, fully agree there. Loved seeing Courtland have a big day. He became the sixth most receiving yards in Broncos history after his performance today. So shout out Courtland for that. I'm loving what we're seeing from Bo in this passing game. It just feels like the game has slowed down for him some. I think you're consistently seeing him work through some of his reads, which makes me happy. The offense that Payton ran today, I just thought it was well called. They didn't get away from the run game. They just kind of grinded this thing out, which is exactly what the game called for. I feel so good about Bo Nix in this offense right now. The lesson I've learned this year is, at least going into year 3, I'm going to be pessimistic about the September offense. I'm expecting the September offense to piss me off at this point. It's happened 3 years in a row now. Even before Bo got here, I'm sure I'm going to be annoyed next September, and they'll drop a game they shouldn't. And some people in Broncos country are going to be chicken littling, and it'll all pan out. But right now he is dealing. Like I just thought, man, I'm so happy to see a Broncos quarterback playing like this. Mike, where are you on the Sean Payton Bo Nix improvement meter?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned September, Zach, because that was the last time the Broncos lost a football game. September.
Let's go, baby.
So that's just crazy. And Bo Nix tied Dan Marino for 5th most wins by a quarterback in their first 2 seasons. Thank you, Bo Nix. Let me do Sean first, though. I was the only time I was really upset with him tonight was the 4th down play instead of taking the field goal. I think, Zach, you said that was the right decision.
I can explain that.
I'm sure it was based on a lot of things, but emotionally at the time, I was like, a field goal here literally makes this a 3-score game. Game's over.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they went for it and ended up kicking the field goal anyway. So that would have been my only fault for him. But you also have to treat Sean Payton as the offensive coordinator. And he was dealing tonight. Bo was dealing tonight. 11 different receivers caught a pass from Bo Nix tonight. I think in the first half, he had 10 already. If we had more receivers on the roster, he probably would have had more. He probably threw a pass to everybody that's even eligible to catch one, which is an exaggeration. But stock up a little. I'll give Sean a little bit of on the improvement meter just because of the offensive plan. I thought the game was smooth. I was also pretty angry that it seems like nobody on the Broncos staff has their eyes on the play clock, because Bo certainly doesn't seem to be watching it all the time. Like, can we please just call a timeout in critical moments instead of getting a 5-yard penalty and a delay a game? Like, is there no one that could stand next to Sean and say 3, 2, 1 and have him call a timeout? Bo Nix up, though. Great game. Perhaps one of his best games of the season.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I will say on the Payton decision stuff, because I do think there were some odd things that popped up, at least. The one where they could have made it 3 possessions, I'm with you on. I think the justification there, if I remember right, it's 4th and inches. They're up 14. Field goal obviously makes it 17. And they decided to run clock. Ultimately, they do kick the field goal later on that drive. I think the reasoning there is it's 4th and inches. The odds of us picking up these inches and keeping them, or picking up these inches and then being able to drain 2+ more minutes off the clock is more valuable than the 3 points and the field position. Yeah. And then I think that calculus changed once you had, I think it was like 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. So it was a little longer to convert, and you had then drained 2 minutes off the clock. So now it became even harder. At that point, the difference between a 3-possession game and a 2-possession game was even greater, because now you've got so much less time to work a 3rd possession in there. So I think that was that one. I would have probably leaned field goal there. I don't know what the like analytic decision bots would recommend there, honestly, but I can at least wrap my head around it. End of the first half one, I know there was some questioning of that. That actually made sense to me. That one I didn't wonder about too much. Lutz comes out for the 58-yarder. They take the delay of game. Raiders decline it. They immediately punt. To me, that reads as so. Sometimes you'll trot the punter out, or sorry, you'll trot the punter out. You'll take the intentional delay of game, and then you'll go, hey, we got 5 more yards for our punter to work with. Coaches over like the last decade or so have gotten smart and have started to go, we're not going to give you those 5 yards you want. Why on earth would we do that? You want those yards. We're not going to give you those. So I think Payton was trying to do some reverse psychology, like, oh, we're trying to kick a field goal here. So if someone's kicking a 58-yarder, those 5 yards to make it a 63-yarder are hugely valuable. So there was no urgency from the Broncos lining up on that field goal. They trotted out late. Like, there's 3. You are aware of needing a timeout there. I just, and he even said as much coming back from the halftime when they like interviewed him on the field. He said it was intentional, and I'm inclined to believe him because it makes sense. The last one I'll talk about, going for it late rather than just taking the field goal to make it a 13-point game. They didn't convert. It was a 10-point game. Raiders drive down, get a field goal. I think in that case, they need 2 scoring drives here anyways. We can either, punch it up the gut, run out the clock, and just win the game right here because we've been running all over them all game long, or we can kick the field goal, make it a 13-point game, kick it off to them, give them the ball 20 yards closer to our end zone, and it's still a 2-possession game. So at that point, the field goal is not doing a whole lot for you. They're probably going to need the exact same yardage, whether or not you get the field goal or go for it or whatever. Going for it gives you the opportunity of ending the game right then and there. So some things I think you could quibble with, but they were all very defensible to me. I liked what Payton did in this game. My Payton knock, and we had Rock Walker bring it up in here. Is that comment not highlighting? God, my system's all laggy. The penalty and procedural issues, like the delay of games that you guys just highlighted, and all the other penalties, like lining up offside, stuff like that should not be happening this far into the season. Is there anything else you guys want to say on the offense before I move us to our next topic here?
Yeah, I think we won the draft. Ashton Genty, RJ Harvey, the battle of the 5'8" running backs. I'm calling it. We win. All right, I'm kidding. Zach, before you say anything, I'm half joking. I'm happy we have him at pick 60, by the way. So
great value. And then I'll say Pat Bryant, actually, I reminded myself of one last thing I wanted on. Great game by him. Great set of games by him. It seems like he's breaking out over the last month or so. I think they've really found something with him. He moves better than I thought he would at the NFL level. Shiftier, quicker. And then the hands and the physicality, the stuff you knew you were going to get with him. He's fully delivered on the promise there. I think they found something, and credit to Sean Payton. Anything you guys want to add on Pat Bryant?
Did you see the move Pat Bryant put on one of his catches? Like, he made 3 pretty difficult catches. This is my 4th week in a row saying these words. Pat Bryant has the best hands on the Broncos, except for maybe Tillman. And he is starting now that he's starting to look more and more comfortable out there. He's starting to look more explosive out there. Yes. He looks like a playmaker too. Like, his targets it's always like this many targets equals this many catches. Like, he just rarely doesn't catch the ball. And Sutton, who had a great game, had his usual catches one below his knees, which is really hard to do for all of you that have played football, and then drops one that Bo just dropped a dime on him on the sidelines for a first down we needed and went right through his hands. So it's nice to have Pat Bryant on this team. I agree with you. I don't think I would say this is a breakout game, but it's a breakout quarter of the season. Like, we are seeing a really good looking wide receiver for the Broncos.
And not only is it like balls thrown Pat Bryant's way, it's a catch, or he gets his hand on it, it's a catch. But you throw the ball Pat Bryant's way, I'm trying to confirm that.
You're going to get a first down.
You probably get a first down. So he had 32 yards today on 4 catches. I don't know how many of those were converted into first downs. Entering today, he had 18 catches, 15 first downs. That is a bonkers rate of moving the
automatic.
stick.
He's almost automatic.
He needs to be our number 2 option, man, in the wide receiver core. He's just so dependable. And I think him and Troy both had 4 targets today. But again, just make it the most.
Troy had 3. So he was our second target wide receiver today.
Troy had 3 catches on 4 targets. Sorry to.
Catches, targets might be.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Kids say it might be.
Yeah, let's continue to integrate him more into this offense, man.
I could not say better myself, David. I think he needs a bigger role. I'll throw it to you on this next one. Last year, this Denver Broncos defense kind of sputtered down the stretch, and I think that sputtering was a big part of the reason they closed the season a lot colder than they wanted to, and had to really wait till week 18 to lock up that playoff spot. This year, after the bye week, rough game against Mariota and the Commanders, pretty rough first drive against the Raiders, and then they locked in, and the Raiders didn't get another point on the board until the game was out of reach. David, did they find themselves in this one? Has the defense refound itself? Is this, hey man, bro, this is the great Vance Joseph defense. They're rolling. That Commanders game was an aberration. Or should we be a little worried that last year might repeat itself?
Nah, it's neither of these answers. Okay, defense didn't have their best game. I'm not stressing it one bit. They still played very, very good, very darn good, and that was like what we'd consider like an off game for like one of the best defenses in the NFL. You know, we just we let a couple things go. I was telling David at the beginning of the stream in my comment, we were just being good sports. You know, letting them score, but man, I wanted to shout out Riley Moss. I was really hoping to do that. I'm like, man, we didn't hear from him all game. Maybe he was expecting safety help over the top, man. I ain't giving that to him. You know, there's always that one play from Riley Moss, man. Even in a dominant win. But yeah, ultimately, hey, the Raiders scored more points than I thought. Dude, I'm losing no sleep over this defense whatsoever.
And realistically, that looked like some sort of 3 look or something like that. At the very least, Riley Moss had outside leverage on his man. It's a post route. That dude's fast too. Like I get that was the first touch of his career, but if line up any cornerback in the league in that spot, give him outside leverage on a fast receiver and a post across their face, and no safety help on the inside. It's not good. You're outside leverage for a reason. It's because you go, oh, well, I got help on the inside. I'd kick it beat to the outside, and the help didn't come. So I'm with you, David. I feel so bad for Riley Moss. It's like the most visible things pop up with him, and I'm like, God, fans are going to be so mean to him about that. And like, I'd say 70% of the time, it's not even his fault. It's just like, oh my God, that receiver turned into friggin' Calvin Johnson for a second, or like some nonsense like this where it's someone else's blown coverage, not his.
Yep.
Or a bad call by the refs, or whatever it might be. Love the Riley Moss shout out. Mike, what stood out to you defensively? I definitely got some people I want to shout out, but I'll throw it to you first.
I was a little disappointed in them tonight, to be honest with you.
Really? I'm surprised.
So yeah, just I think I was disappointed in VJ, I think, more than the players. The bend don't break thing with the way our offense was playing, it worked. It worked to a T. But it just, here's the one thing, Zach. Here it is in a bottom line. And this is just this isn't backed up by anything like a stat or a history, but it feels like every time the Broncos step up their game offensively, the defense falls back. We go down and score, you can almost bet $1,000 that their offense is going to come right back and score. Like we just can't seem to get our foot on the pedal and keep it there sometimes. So that would be my one complaint. But honestly, that's kind of a symptom of playing the bend don't break, which is what we do. We take, that's kind of accurate. So what we hope to do is we get them in 3rd and long and then just go after them and not give up, an 80-yard touchdown. So it's risky. And so if they can play quick game and they can pick up first downs, that kind of style of defense lends itself to teams getting down towards the red zone. And then we just tighten up and maybe they get a field goal. So I actually don't have a big problem with it, but it does seem pretty easy between the 20s sometimes if we're not getting them in 3rd and long. It scares me a little bit that these our inability to get off the field, and Zach, maybe how good the Broncos are. Are we still good at getting off the field on 3rd down? Because for a while there we were, and it doesn't feel like we are now.
That's a good question. Yeah, I would agree anecdotally with the point for sure. And the point about the moving the ball between the 20s. It does feel like the Broncos defense is at its worst there, and then at its best in the red zone, of course. But yeah, I gotta say, I was overall pretty happy with the defense. I had a vein popping out of my head, I'm pretty sure, after that first drive, because I felt exactly what you're saying, Mike. Like, oh my God, these last 2 weeks, finally the offense is good, and now we're just gonna get destroyed by Geno Smith and Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, exactly.
I was legitimately, like, I've been anxious and nervous and maybe even like frustrated during this Broncos season. I don't think I was like legitimately angry at the leverage penalty. This was the first time since like the leverage penalty, and they cruised to a victory. But this was the first time since then that I've been like legitimately angry at something that was happening in the game, because I was just baffled by where did this great defense go. And then I think it showed up the rest of the way. I wish I had the stats right in front of me, but it was something like, after allowing 5 first downs on that first drive, they allowed 5 the rest of the game up until garbage time. And then, the Raiders end up with 17 points in this one. I'm annoyed they scored that much. I wish it was just a 24/7 thing. But I will say the 10 points they scored in the last quarter, don't weigh that heavy on me. It felt to
the
me
essence of garbage time.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
So I feel pretty. I'm optimistic about what we saw today. I think we finally saw. I guess we saw it in the Cowboys game and then maybe in the Bengals game too. But it was another showing of like, okay, the offense came to play and the defense came to play today,
and the special teams came to play.
And the special teams. Let's talk about the
we haven't had to talk about special teams for a while. It's all we talked about for a few weeks. It was our Achilles heel. We had concerns about offense, but we were scared to death of our special teams. And, rizzied. We were getting rizzied. I mean, we were starting to come up with all the sayings to get rid, this kind of stuff. But hey, they're scoring points. They're doing their job. There were a few gaffes, as there always are, but overall, this was a team win, Zach. This is what you want to see heading into the playoffs. I'm seeing, I guess, and just the last point on the defense, I guess I do kind of maybe change my mind a little bit. I think I was just so frustrated after that first drive that it just lingered with me the whole game. So I kind of like that preconceived notion, like, God, we can't stop these guys. But we actually pretty much stopped them the rest of the game until, as my good friend David liked to call it, what is it? What do you trash time or garbage time?
Yeah.
So, David,
we were just playing out there to, finish out the game, man. We were being good sports. That's really just kind of how I see it.
Poor Riley Moss, though.
Yeah.
I just want one week where I don't have to talk about Riley Moss getting burned, but I think that one was safety help. Blew that.
Yeah.
And Pat Surtain had 2 or 3 pass interference calls against him tonight. So great game from him, though. But it looks like they're laying off. The refs are laying off of one player and just transferring those penalties to another.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say shout out to T Fishes for this observation, saying thank LJH for the special teams resurgence. I can't believe this, but I think he's kind of right. I think that's kind of now. I think that might be correlation, not causation. But I would say I think the special teams unit really turned around after they.
Yeah, let's go with
after they-
causation, man. I like that. Little Jordan Humphrey being a good luck charm. I'm for that.
Imagine if A.T. Perry had been out there.
Dude, exactly.
Oh my
Well,
God.
he's not letting that one on the sideline go through his hands and hit him in the face like Troy Franklin. Tell
Oh
you
my-
that.
Yeah, Troy's got
Hands are way too big to allow that to happen. But
We got a hand. We need to get a hand measurement on Troy Franklin.
yeah. But the special teams great. Hey, shout out to Crawshaw. 1 punt today,
Again.
amazing. Went to the 5-yard line. Thing of beauty.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, with our defense, I mean, Crawshaw. The combination of our defense and Crawshaw is kind of lethal because, driving 95 yards on the Broncos defense still is tough to do. And it makes the clock run a lot. If we can run the clock, run the ball, and then pin teams down there, it's a good formula, guys. I guess I'm pretty excited overall. Over everything for this game, especially because I hate the Raiders so damn much. And I have family and friends around me that are Raiders fans, and I can't wait to see them tomorrow.
All right. Now is when I ask you guys, did I miss anything before we get to our stars of the game? One thing I know personally that I missed and I want to throw out there, the Broncos are on a 10-game winning streak that is tied for the third long. Actually, I think it's on its own. It's either tied or on its own as the third longest streak in team history. And that's whether you look at it by regular season only, which I think is a little less impressive because if you lose in the playoffs, that doesn't count against your win streak and you can pick it up the next season. Like the Broncos have a 17-game.
Like so over two seasons.
The record is 17 because it's like the end of the 2012 and the start of the 2013 season. To me, like that's great. 17 games in a row. It's more impressive to me if you do the regular season plus playoffs one. And either way, you want to count it regular season only or regular season plus playoffs at 10 games. This is tied or on its own. Again, I forgot that detail. The third longest win streak the Broncos have ever experienced. 1998 to 99. Obviously, they got off to that 14-0 start is the longest.
Oh, was it 14? I thought it was 13. Wow.
14-0. You probably remember better than me.
Wow. Because I'm old.
I just looked it up.
I could be wrong.
But that's number one. And I think number two is 11. So with a win against the I just pulled it up right here.
Packers.
Get it in front of me. Yeah, if they beat the Packers, that might be enough to. Okay, so regular season only. This is tied for third at 10. 14, which was the end of 97 into the start of 98, is second, and then that 2012 to 2013 one I mentioned is first. If you don't do that nonsense, you look at regular season plus playoffs. 18 when they won the Super Bowl in 97 and then started the next year on that 13-0 run. They closed 97 on a 5-game win streak, started off the next year on a 13. That's the record at 18. After that, 2012 with Peyton Manning. Remember everyone, they go 2-3 to start the year, I think, and then he's 11 straight to close out the year, something like that. Or 1-2 and then 1-3 and 11. It doesn't fucking matter. And then you've got this year tied with 1984 at 10 in a row, one more win, and they'll be tied for second. That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
That's my.
I don't like counting. I don't like counting into the next year because it's different players. It's just those are like team records that mean something. But season, like in a season with the that squad, 10 is just super impressive. I love it. I think we should. Zach, can I just? We've got our updated AFC standings now that we should probably hit before.
Hit it.
Broncos are the number 1 seed in the AFC. We've got that back right where we belong. We had 99% playoff possibility. It's basically 100% now, and we own every tiebreak against the number 2 Patriots now. By virtue of beating the Raiders today, we now beat them because of common opponents, if that's the right word. Jags beat up on the Colts today. And of course, tragic. Everybody saw that with Daniel Jones. So the Jags are in the driver's seat there. Steelers is the other division or winner. And then the Bills came back and won. So they're still at 5, Chargers 6, Colts hanging on at 7, but Texans, I think, are going to overtake that. So go Texans tonight. But there's your new latest AFC playoff standings, guys. Broncos are the best. Boom.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, looking at the playoff picture right now, you got Broncos 1, yeah, Patriots. And really, it's a 2-team race for the 1 seed now. It looks like the Jags have an outside chance, but really it's Broncos Patriots. So everyone in Broncos country should be a big Patriots hater the rest of the way this regular season.
Yeah.
David, any closing notes you want to hit before we get to our stars of the game?
No. Can I get to our stars of the game?
Yeah, let's start us off. Who's your
David's got to get out of here. He's like, let's go.
Oh shoot, do you? My bad, David.
Don't stress.
I didn't know that. Who's your star of the game? I didn't know we had a time.
Dude, star of the game has to be RJ Harvey, baby. He added the element to this offense that we've been dying to see ever since J.K. Dobbins sadly got hit, dropped, tackled, the way he was running through contact, the way he was bouncing off of big hits. I mean, he really is looking like a guy who can be a feature back in the NFL. And we finally, I think, saw that today. So very, very exciting for RJ Harvey. There is not anymore, guys, any doubts I have about his game. We've seen him take great steps in pass protection. We've seen him become a dependable receiver. And we're seeing the flashes of when his vision is on. Man, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. So let's continue to build on this, RJ. We need this running game going strong in the playoffs. But yeah, he's great short yardage all over the field. He converted a handful of third downs for us that did not look like they were going to be conversions. Yeah. So shout out to RJ Harvey. I love you, RJ Harvey.
It's been great. I was really starting to get a little worried about what we were seeing from him as a runner. Felt great about the pass game stuff, but was worried about what we were maybe seeing from him as a runner. And today alleviated a lot of that. I think you can. Now we have to see it sustained. We have to see it against better competition. But I don't think that's a huge leap to get there necessarily, because and running back's position, I think you typically hit the ground running, but this felt like a guy who the game had slowed down for him more. He was hitting the right hole more consistently. He was reading it out correctly. It didn't feel like it was moving. I talked about his hesitancy getting up to the line sometimes. That was a lot less present in this one, which I think shows the game's maybe not moving too fast for him anymore. And the physicality of the game, like I think that's the area where he was maybe lagging behind his college tape the most. Like he would bust or break tackles and run over guys and was like a shockingly physical runner for his weight. And that had not translated the first 13 weeks of the season. And today you have him like just shaking off Raiders players and just like there was the one on the first drive that everyone's going to think about. But there were multiple where like he'd get a hard hit like right at the line gain. Like you could hear the pads crack or the helmet crack, whatever it was. You heard some sort of crack and he's powering over the defender and getting the conversion anyways. And that's something I don't think he was getting earlier in the season. He was going down a little too easy. So great game. And I think a reason to believe it's a jumping point for him or a jumping off point.
Yeah, he really today gave me DeAndre Swift vibes, man. Like he really did. I know that they're around like similarly kind of built, but yeah, like his tough running was very DeAndre Swift-esque.
I'm with it. Mike, anything you want to give us on RJ Harvey, and then why don't you tell us your star of the game?
Yeah, I mean, David hit it all on the head. You both did. I mean, right from the get-go with that crappy little play that was looked like it was going to lose 5 yards that RJ turned into a first down. From then on, you're right. It was like he was moving the pile. So no, I love that pick. He was mine. I'll have to go with my number 2.
Oh.
Ooh, and who is that, Mike?
It's Bo Nix.
Yes.
It's Bo. It has to be. And honestly, RJ was just going to be mine because I thought for sure David was going to take Bo. But they're both deserving. Bo Nix, 81.6 completion percentage, the highest of his career ever. He was slinging it. When Bo starts slinging it, man, I don't worry about where the ball's going when he throws it. Like, I just feel like I didn't see one ball thrown right to a defender tonight that they didn't catch. Like, he threw into some tight windows. He played a great ball game. He took 3 sacks, but honestly, 2 of those sacks were quote. Can anybody see my quotes? Smart sacks. Like,
Yeah.
this was, protect the ball. And he's never lost to the Las Vegas Raiders. So just for that alone, he's never lost to the Raiders. He gets my MVP vote, game ball, whatever we're calling it, my shiny star. We don't win the game without him. We win the game with him.
I love it. What do you think about Bo? I know we already talked about it some, Dave, but anything you want to add on Bo here?
Franchise quarterback, baby.
Franchise
Another
baby.
game in the books looking like a franchise quarterback.
Are we ready for that? Is he our franchise quarterback, guys?
I need to get to the end of this year before I'm declaring anything. I feel better and better about that evaluation, though. I'll say the fact that he has turned it around in the second half of this season. I think I've always thought, or not always, but I guess since midway of last year or something, I've thought that he's got the right stuff, right makeup to continue to learn. Like, he's got the necessary tools and traits and ability, and I think he's got the necessary mental components to continue to improve, because Drew Lock's a great athlete, but he could never improve. He's the same dude now that he was as a freshman in Missouri, and probably as he was as a high schooler, frankly. Bo Nix has constantly improved throughout his collegiate career, and now throughout his NFL career. Needs to figure out the slow starts, but I wanted the footwork. Like, there's a lot of things he needs to, and I mean slow starts to the season. We've only seen 2.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I think he's figured out the slow start stuff.
Yeah. No, they're starting a lot harder. I want to see him just start the season rolling next time, and that'll alleviate another big hunk of anxiety. He needs to keep growing and improving, but it's trending towards franchise quarterback right now. Like, he's looking like the dude. I'm really, really happy with what we're seeing, but I wasn't going to throw in the towel when he struggled for the first half of the season. So I'll continue to sit on the fence and ask for a little more.
Yeah. You're not going to crown him yet. You're not going to throw in the towel either. And I apologize, Zach. It's not, you missed last week. So I was driving. Now I'm like, I got to hand the keys over and quit asking the questions. It's not my job.
No,
I got the easy job tonight. I'm just watching this chat being on fire over here. It's awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone in the chat. They're blowing it up. And I was going to say something. But yeah, feeling good about Bo overall. And I will say, I'm on the fence. I really think he'll get there. I think now it's just a question of when. And then hopefully what we're seeing right now, this latest Turner, he's corner he's turned, excuse me, is a big one. And this is him taking that leap towards franchise quarterback. My star
Who's
of the
yours?
Game, yeah, my star of the game, Nik Bonitto.
Yeah.
What was that? Nik Bonitto had a slow start to things this year, or not a slow start, a slow last few weeks. Teams have been shifting a lot of their protections towards him. He was on pace. Everyone's paying attention to Myles Garrett through 7 weeks or whatever. It was Nik Bonitto who was on pace to break the NFL sack record. Obviously, that's no longer the case, but still having a great year. Broke his sack drought this week as he got 2 sacks. I'm trying to see how many games he went without a sack. Had the sack last week against Jaden Daniels, and then so he had 2.5 total over his last 6 games entering this one, which that's nothing to laugh at, but wasn't the crazy hot pace he had started the season out on. gets another multi-sack performance here against the Raiders. That gets him up to 12.5 in a season. That's a 25 or 26, excuse me, over a 2-season span. It's got to be up there with Von Miller and like the very best pass rushers in Broncos history in terms of like most production over 2 years. I would have given it to RJ first. I would have given it to Bo second. You guys took the right top 2 picks. So I'll go Nik Bonitto third. Any thoughts on Nik Bonitto before we get out of here, David?
No, man. He's amazing. I love him. I love all the Broncos. They're all good.
Yeah, man. Shout out Zach for taking the leftovers on that one, because the two MVPs of the game were so obvious. So appreciate you taking one for us. But yeah, Nik Bonitto definitely deserving. Good game. And I guess the one thing that stood out to me was how the Raiders their game plan revolved around not letting our pass rushers affect the game. They tried to copy Mariota and that game plan with the quick pass and the run and just they really weren't taking very many shots because they didn't want to hold the ball. I mean, earlier in the game, even the TV guys were smart enough to put a stat up there where he was getting rid of the ball in like 2.5 seconds, 2.12 seconds or whatever it was. So shout out Bonitto and Zach. I thought Zach Allen had another really strong game, and Roach had a strong game. No DJ Jones tonight, so shout out to the D line. I mean, it looked like they were going to run the ball over. So they only averaged 3 yards a carry tonight. So they actually tightened up when they needed to.
Good stuff. David, why don't you get us out of here with your message, and then we'll tell everybody where to follow you.
Dude, you guys are the best, guys. I love Broncos country. I love you all so much. You guys are what makes this fun. Hey, shout out really quick, Kalshi, baby. Kalshi. Hey, the refs screwed us on us covering the spread, but that's okay. We can go get it next week against Green Bay. Use that code DTB. Get a $10 bonus when you deposit $10, okay? Kalshi is the #1 place to trade for sports and on random stuff like the weather and gold, if you care about that. Kalshi, love you guys. David Talks Broncos, YouTube, David Talks Sports, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Please follow me, but more importantly, follow my friends, guys. They're putting out great Broncos content.
Thank you very much, David. Mike, and please, everybody watching on my channel, do go support David on whatever social media you prefer, whatever streaming platform you prefer. David Talks Broncos, David Talks Buffs, David Talks Sports. Mike, where can they find all your amazing work, my man?
Man, first of all, Zach, thanks so much for hosting this every week and putting in the work. I had to cover your ass a couple times, and it's a lot of work and a lot of pressure. So bang up job. It's great to have the host back. But I guess a little breaking news for some of you. We do have a rebrand over at Mic'd Up. Mic'd Up is a show that I do during the off season where I'll bring David in, or I'll bring Ryan Edwards, or I'll bring Zach against DMAC or whatever. You guys have both been on it. Mm-hmm. And we have like these little battles, and we have trivia, and we do all that. Those shows take like 2-3 days to put together. Can't do it during the season. And so it turned out that Mic'd Up is just like a certain type of episode. I've been thinking about rebranding for about a year now. And so, yeah, it's Mile High Monsters. You can find me on YouTube. You're already subscribed, so thank you for that. But at Mile High Monster, Denver Broncos, it'll pop right up there for you. Appreciate you to come over. Like the channel. These guys are on all the time anyway. So we'd love to have you on all of our channels. And then, of course, on Twitter. Hey, I just broke 1,500 on Twitter. And I'm right at 1,500 on YouTube. It's a competition with myself. So I love it. And just shout out to both of my guys, Zach and Dave, for another undefeated episode of the Mile High after party, baby. Let's go. They don't lose with us. They don't.
They haven't. The first episode of the three of us lines up with the win streak. So shout out to us. We'll take all the credit.
Absolutely.
We'll be back here with Altitude Adjustment Tuesday night. Let's Talk Broncos will return on Wednesday night. I believe we'll have a full crew. So me, Joey, and Bree. Everyone, support Mike, Mile High Monsters, support David. Again, really appreciate that. And please support us at letstalkbroncos.com. Or our YouTube channel, everywhere. Man, my schedule's been a mess over the last month or two. Should have an article coming back out in this week for people that have been getting on me about that. Working on a pretty in-depth free agency preview, Broncos free agency preview.
Oh, nice. Good.
About the 22 free agents the Broncos have. Not who they should sign. That will come once we know who the actual free agents are. But we know the 22 free agents the Broncos have on roster. I'm going nittier, grittier than anyone else out there on the free agent outlook. So stay tuned for that. Until
Love
next
it.
time, everybody, though, let's go Broncos. It's time for a playoff push.
Let's go, Broncos.
First place, baby.